Alrighty, hello. Sorry for the 5 seconds of silence. I had to, really make sure that my live stream was going to be, actually live streaming. Because I will say, for the many conveniences and many wonderful things on PlayStation, one of my least favorite things is when you go to live stream and it's like, "Hey, buddy, you're live streaming. Look out! Oh man, oh boy, you're really broadcasting and stuff, just like a real streamer, just like a big boy. Go crazy, go wild, but make sure you don't go too crazy and too wild. I personally wouldn't advise any gamer moments if I were you." And to that, I would say, listen, I'm not going to have a gamer moment, okay? Am I going to be gaming? And are there going to be moments as I'm gaming? Yeah, definitely, for sure. But, like, you know, am I. Am I going to do something bad? Nah, I'm good. I think I would be fine. I've been fine so far. But, yeah, it's. It's incredibly annoying when I go to live stream. It's like, "Hey, you're live, buddy," and it's like, "No, I'm not." And you want to know how I know I'm not? It's because I'm paranoid about it, and I'm like, "Well, I gotta check now. I gotta make sure I actually am live streaming," and I am. So, anyway, sorry for the little bit of a salty intro, but I am a salty guy, and as well as salty, I am full of vinegar and something else too. It's piss. But uh, but that's actually my favorite kind of chip. Not salt and piss, but salt and vinegar. One of my favorite ones. It destroys my mouth and it fulfills my soul. It completes my body and sends my taste buds on a wondrous delight, a dance of death, if you will. And you know, with all that being said, removing all negative emotions, because I am really excited to play Citizen Sleeper. I know next to nothing about it, man. It's like, I think I've seen a couple of reviews for it. I've seen it recommended by some of my favorite YouTubers, video essayists, gamers, and also it is severely underrated. It's kind of funny. I have various PlayStation friends, most of whom I do not personally know. And, like, usually whenever I'm playing a game, it'll be like, "Hey, your friends also play this." Nobody on my friends list, whether they be my actual friend, some person I met one time, or some person I played one good game of Rogue Company with and now have never talked to them or seen them again. Nobody on that list has played the game, and I am really curious and really excited to play it. Because again, I know next to nothing. I want to assume it's almost like a text-based Adventure Man, but it's like I don't think it is. So let's see here. Yeah, I know Citizen Sleeper 2 is announced. Step into the body of a new sleeper on the run in the Star Wars Belt as they try to build a crew, take on contracts, and find a future. Sign up to our newsletter to find out more. Dude, don't tell me more. I know nothing. You're already spoiling stuff for me because you're like, "Hey, play the next game." Buddy, I'm already here. I'm playing this one. Alright, empty. Ooh! I get to pick a guy. Oh, I'm like, these guys. Oh, it's. Oh, okay. Okay. Like, I definitely recognize this guy from the cover. But yeah, here, let's see. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Works with machines and physical tools. Works with digital interfaces. So engineer, interface, endure, use strength or strength of will. Intuit. Approach problems with awareness. Engage. Approach a problem head on. I'm surprised you're not engaging. Instead, you're enduring. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. That's interesting. Perk photosynthetic skin. Sunbathed dice action allows energy recovery at home. Huh. Interesting. So you're not intuitive. But yeah, what's the perk? Transfer intercept. Chance to gain cryo on... Yeah, I don't know what that means, though. A machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinists work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Chance to gain random scrap item on engineer activities. Engineer? And I cannot engage, though. I can't approach a problem head on. That's interesting to me, man. I don't know. Frame. Sleeper Mark 44. Sleeper Mark... Or frame Sleeper E45. And Sleeper E45. Huh. Okay, yeah, I was like, these two look very similar. But yeah, you are different, huh? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling... I don't know who I'm feeling. Let's see here. Oh yeah. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinists work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. I feel like that doesn't describe me. Meanwhile, sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. I don't know if I'm any of those things, but I would like to be. I aspire to be cerebral and precise. Then, meanwhile, sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. I feel like this does kind of describe me a little bit. I don't know. I'm not always confident. I'm certainly not self-sufficient. But I would say I have a pretty high level of endurance, but not more than average. I have like an average level of endurance. So I'm going operator. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how this game plays and like what's it like. I'm expecting it to be all text. His Disco Elysium ass game. Come on, where's the good voice acting, huh? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. Yeah, come on, I need someone else to read this. I'm not good. I'm terrible. Nobody wants to hear my voice. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. I'm gonna think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensation fades out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and a retreat a little from your central nervous system. Oh, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. Fuck! I fucked it up! No! No, I'm imperfect! It isn't painful. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Alright, I'll remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan. Aw, that's cute. Okay, I feel like I sound pretty good. I don't know. How do you think my voice sounds? Because, I, of course, being a human, hate the sound of my own voice, It's not something often I really relish. It's like, I tend to kind of think because I don't like the sound of my own voice, I have to actually rely on the things that I say. Because it's like, I do like listening to myself. I like watching back on my videos and listening to me talk. And sometimes I'll laugh like hysterically at stuff I've said. And I find myself to be funny, but I don't find myself like pleasant to listen to. But it's like, obviously other people might have different opinions. Like, I don't know, I remember one time I was live streaming, much like this, and somebody was like, "Hey, I think you have a really calm and soothing voice." And I'm like, "Really? I'm surprised you don't find my voice to be shrill and annoying and terrible to listen to." But hey, my dulcet tones can help you fall asleep. That's better, because whatever your dreams may have, whether they be wet or nightmares or any variety. I should have saved the wet part. Okay, whatever. But it would have been better for the joke, right? Whether they be what's like another lucid. There we go. Whether they be lucid nightmares. Sorry. Here we go. I got the structure of it right. I hope that my voice can send you to a wonderful dream, whether it be lucid, wet, or a nightmare. It's certainly going to be better than whatever I'm saying. There we go. I don't know. I feel like you gotta end with wet, but it's like it doesn't flow phonetically, right? Like it just doesn't work in the way that you want it to. Or at least in the way I want it to. Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. Gonna have to owe my mom after this. I'm drinking one of her favorite drinks. It's called a Miami, Florida, and it is very good. I don't know. Yeah, here I'm kind of curious. What brewery is this drink from? It's a sour beer. If you want the full description of it, it is a Imperial Berliner, Berliner. Berliner Weiss, Weisse. I don't know how you say any of that, but here's all the stuff that's in it, and you'll probably figure out why I like this. Dragon fruit, passion fruit, mango, pineapple, pink guava, key lime, tangerine, toasted coconut, marshmallows, and milk sugar. It's an insanely like very tasty drink. Brewed and canned by Westbrook Brewing Company, which has its location in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, which is not where I live, but it's nearby. But yeah, I don't know. I really like this, and I don't know if my mom would be fine with me having it. I'm sure she'd be okay with it, but I would say I owe her for it. I will say though, if and when GTA 6 comes out and I'm alive for it, I'm gonna be drinking a Miami, Florida as I as I play that game. I don't know. I will say I don't want to spend too much time not playing the game, because like for some games it's like I don't know, I'm fine with like mucking about, pissing about, not really progressing, but like this game requires me to read. It is a reading game. So it's like by proxy I must read it out loud. So I don't want to spend too much of my energy just talking. But I will say, can I be real with you? Can you say anything about the GTA trailer? Because, like, I don't know, I did see something that was like, Rockstar revealed that half of the, half of the game is going to be, half of the trailer was gameplay. And it's like, that's cool, but like I don't know what that means. Like, I don't have any context for it. I will say one thing I am kind of curious about is like, I don't know. It's like, do we know who's writing GTA 6? Because it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think the truth is that we don't know. Huh. That I'm kind of curious about that. Sorry, I did look it up, and some people are speculating that Dan Houser might have written the game, or at least been part of the writing process. And it's like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm very curious to see what a Rockstar game is like without Dan Houser. Because love or hate him, critique or I don't know what critique or praise him. Like, he certainly was like a big name at Rockstar. Like, he definitely had a lot of work in on a lot of the games. And like, I don't know, to me, like, Red Dead Redemption not only feels like a great send-off to like his time at Rockstar, but it also feels like an apology, right? Like, I don't know, I'm very kind of curious to see where GTA 6 goes and like what the direction for it is going to be. Because it's like, I don't know, I kind of hate people talking about it like you can interpret or see anything from it. I don't know. But I will say, I don't know. I don't want to necessarily taint this video. But there's a creator on TikTok that I see pretty frequently. And it's like, sometimes I like to see him, and then other times, like, I think he's good. I think he makes good content. Certainly a hell of a lot more successful than I am. But sometimes he is just so incredibly negative that it puts me off of him. Because it's like, I don't know, I totally get it, but sometimes it's just like, man, you're depressing. But like, I don't know, he was talking about the GTA 6 trailer, and he talked about how he never completed any of the Grand Theft Auto games, and then it's like, have you even played Red Dead Redemption? Like, either 1 or 2? Because like, I don't know, I think both of those games are really interesting and have something interesting going on. Like, you can definitely critique and criticize GTA 5, but I don't know, I like it. I think GTA 5 is a pretty good satire. Of course, some of it is like, just like, oh, let's be mean towards feminists. Let's be mean about like influencers and other stuff. But then there's like, I don't know, I like the critique of like billionaires, of tech bros, of like the US government, of like, I don't know, because like the thing I'm thinking about is that like at the end of the game, at least if you're doing like the C option, I think, or I think this even happens before the C option ending. No, it does happen during this, but like there's one point where like all three of the main protagonists, who by the way are all like some level of socio and or psychopath, which like I find kind of interesting, and also like I don't know, it's like Franklin Clinton is a very interesting character to me, because it's like Michael makes sense. Michael's a parody of the suburban dad, and it's like, I don't know, it's very funny and cutting that it's like, it's a suburban dad who's like just a minute away from like driving on the sidewalk and like murdering people. Like, it's a very funny critique. And then there's like Trevor, who's like a critique of like almost like trailer park trash, of like he is like essentially the embodiment of white trash, but like to me, he's almost like the most sympathetic of all the characters because he is the one who is the most overt with his issues and problems. Like, you cannot look at Trevor and you can be like, Trevor's the worst of the bunch, but like Trevor is also like the saddest, and like he has the least control over himself as all three of the protagonists. And then there's Franklin, who is like, he is almost like, I don't know how to define him as anything other than like a straight up sociopath. Like it's like there's one line that like sticks out to me where he's just like, where I forget if he's talking about Trevor or he's talking to Lamar or he's talking to somebody, but he just casually mentions like, yeah, you know, I kill fools all the time, and it's like that's a weird thing, Franklin. Like, yeah, I kill people all the time, but I don't enjoy it. Which is like, it's so fascinating to me. That's his perspective on it. Is that he kills almost out of necessity rather than like want or anger even. Like the guy genuinely just wants to live his life, but keeps getting put into situations where he has to kill people. It's like, I don't know, I think someone could do a much better analysis and critique of his character. But I find it to be interesting. Anyway, my overall point is that like with that, with like each three protagonists, kind of the three factions that you have to get rid of or you have to deal with at the end of the game is the FBI for Michael, then a Chinese smuggling gang operation for Trevor, and then like Stretch and like the Ballas for Franklin. And it's like, I think the point is that like all these things are one and the same, right? Is that like they're all gangs. That's kind of the point of it. The US is just the most well-funded and like prominent gang in the United States because obviously, right? It's like they're in the US. But like, I don't know, so I kind of think that's like the commentary on it, is that it's like, as bad as our three protagonists may be, they like are nothing. They are a blip when compared to like something like the US government, for example. And so I don't know, I think that's always the interesting thing about Rockstar games. It's honest why I like Red Dead Redemption 1, but it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 is the better game. I would argue, I would say that like Red Dead Redemption 1 is almost funnier, because it's like so funny seeing John Marston so done with everybody. And like, I don't know, it's very interesting where it's like, John Marston Red Dead Redemption 2, he's way more like sympathetic and also interesting, where he is like, it's like, I don't know, he's also very interesting in the first game too. But like, my favorite parts of like any of the Rockstar games is when characters are debating philosophy, when they're talking about like what they believe in, what they think is right, what they think is wrong, like what makes right and wrong. Like, I don't know, there's it's like one conversation with Sadie and John in Red Dead Redemption 2, where John's like, do you ever think about it? Do you ever think about like you doing bounty hunter work for the government? And Sadie's just like, nope, I just take the bounties and I bring somebody in. I assume they're guilty enough to have warranted this, and so I don't really think about it. And John's like, I don't know. I think you should be more aware of that, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm riding alongside you, but it's like, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's necessarily something that's right. Anyway, back to the game I'm actually playing. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan. I'm remembering a plan, apparently. But then your options were limited, and once you got the itch to get out by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into the cargo processing, seal yourselves into the containers, then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Well, wait for the cold. That's all there is now. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of the damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You've spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor. Sound, too. Everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Whoa. Hey now. I wasn't expecting this. I'm kind of surprised. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. Dragos? It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from a container. You sit huddled in a corner of a scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, sleeper, you all thawed yet?" Almost. "Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better preservation and sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside out of locks in my time. They weren't so lucky." Dragos comes into focus, surrounded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. "Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long." You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. "I plan to survive." You aren't sure if he hears you. "I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property." You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet, as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out here. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep a hold of you, well, then no one can. Huh. I will say, this is actually really interesting, because but before this, I was actually playing a different game, 2064 Read-Only Memories. It's pretty good, but, like, I was thinking about the concept of a clone. Like, if you made a clone of yourself, and, like, a clone as you are now, would they even be able to function as a person? Like, would they be able to recall memories and, like, know that those memories are theirs, but also not? You know? I don't know. Either way, I'm very interested to see what this game is going to do. You remember that too, or at least rumors from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freighter container I've been using as a storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rustling hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial. Introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Alright. So, I have to figure this is the empty container? Yeah. End cycle. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Alrighty. You wake up, curled in the corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station. Millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all, what matters? What does matter? I'm going to say building a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you need to learn to survive. Maybe, if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Wow. Alright, whole lot of reading to do. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each day, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to go somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. Alright, okay. Lot to manage, lots to deal with, but hey, I'm excited for it. And now let's see. What does WTSP mean? I don't know. I'm gonna look that up to see if it means anything. The first thing I get is like a weather station for Tampa Bay. Yeah, I'm looking for meaning. I'm looking for, yeah, Urban Dictionary. Oh, it's just supposed to be what's up? Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was like, what's the something problem? Like, I thought it was a full-on acronym. That makes more sense. Okay. I guess leave? Ooh. Oh, that's a great drink. Shout out to Miami, Florida, ironically enough. Not the city. The city's great, I assume. I don't know if I've been. Probably have been. I used to live in Florida. But I'm talking about the drink. It's a very tasty beer. It's a sour, too. I am a sour fellow. I don't know if you can tell by my name. It's lemon, after a bunch of other words that don't mean anything. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cachet of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. I'm down. Alright then. He nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old holes down, sell them off to shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to manual labor, and obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well... He trails off. But, things being the way that they are for me at the yard, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little crowd to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Wow. Low end gate. My oh my, a lot of text. Actions are the primary way you interact in the world as Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, select it with the D-pad and X, and then choose action dice to assign. Old dissection. Even the rustiest hole can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy conditions, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcomes. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Repeatable action. Manual salvage. Endured. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. Big ol', what was that, 6? Yeah. Big sixer, 100% chance positive. The fiver is 50% chance positive, 50% neutral. Then 3 and 4 are 25% chance positive, 50% chance neutral, 25% chance negative. And a 1 and a 2 is 50% chance neutral and 50% chance negative. Okay. So, type. Either critical or repeatable critical actions can only be performed once. Either safe, risky, or danger. That's the types of risk. Safe, no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Skill. The skill that this action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier, either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Okay, I see. So I can go for the whole dissection, or I can go for the manual salvage, which is safe. So yeah, debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Back in business, every salvager knows they're just always one lucky haul away from their next payday. Okay. Well, I say let's try a whole discussion. Put a 4 on there. No, do that. Okay, you gotta confirm it. Okay, that seemed positive. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Drago's debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can compete without player input. Complete. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. Positive outcomes. Back in business, plus 15 cryo. And let's try this one. Tutorial. Drives and navigation. 1 out of 2. In Citizen Sleeper, you unlock drives so you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu with L1. Okay. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Okay. Huh. You know, I will say, it's too much tutorialization right off the bat. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like the best way to kind of do a tutorial is to, like, give you a brief explanation, be like, hey, do this thing, here's how you do it. And then you do the thing. And then once you do the thing, then it's like, okay, here's the explanation of it now. If one is required. Because I feel like simply doing the thing should tell you all you need to know about the thing. But yeah, let's try manual salvage. Run the dice on that. Neutral outcome. Back in business, plus 10 cryo. Alright. Seems pretty good so far. Let's see. Let's try risky dice on this. Neutral outcome. Wow. Getting pretty lucky so far. A little nervous to do so. But that's like 50-50. But it is safe. I don't know. I think I'd rather go for this. Negative outcome. Plus 5 cryo. Okay. Alright. So, that's all. Used up all my dice. Hmm. Rotunda wet dock, old dock terminal. Yeah. Well, I can't really do anything with that, so yeah, can't really help out here, so going back home, ending the cycle. But yeah, it's like the game I'm readily. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see/feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spooks and spires. Spokes, not spooks, sorry. I'm bad at reading. With spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back, trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. But yeah, anyway, I'm starving, ready to starve some more. Right market. Okay, interesting. Shipyard. So what's here? Assist a shipbuilder or haul materials. All materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a load of materials and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. Assist a shipbuilder. You don't have connections, but you do have skills, so if you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. Yard hand. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. Interesting. Cryo. Cryptocurrency stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Okay. Okay, apparently I got no data. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, I'm very curious to see where this game goes and what this game does, but like, so far I find it kind of curious because, it's like, I don't know, in the sense that it's like, I think, I don't know what necessarily marks a good game. But like, I think kind of the best way to do something is like easy to learn, hard to master, you know? And it's like, this does not seem easy to learn, but who knows, it might pay off in the end, ultimately. Okay. I don't seem to have any upgrade points, I don't think. So, repay Dragos and survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this attempt will come to a rapid end. Find a doctor. Okay. I mean, I would love to find a doctor, but where does one find a doctor? Steal dock plans. Having security has to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place, and the most dangerous. Or I can explore the rotunda, and the rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. Okay, I see. Dock Watcher versus Haven's Watch List. Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on new arrivals too. Haven's run the Rotunda and their security watches the docks. Better to avoid attracting their attention. Okay. Bright Market. Ask for directions? Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? All you need is the courage to approach them. Or explore the market. The smells, sounds, and buzzing activity of the Bright Market make it dizzying. A dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. Local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Alright. What about that one final one? I don't know. Can't seem to go there quite just yet. Alright, I kind of want to explore the market a little bit. So, yeah, if I do the 5-star... Okay, there's a 100% positive chance. Is that the case also for, like, something dangerous and risky like this? Okay. Huh. Oh, it's because of the 6. Okay. It's not a 5. Yeah, I'll ask for directions. Local knowledge. Ah, there we go. Can't help but feel like that looks like a doctor. Okay. Yep. ORT exchange, hardware exchange, Sabine, slum doctor. Memphis, street food vendor. Okay. Well, I think I probably ought to head to the doctor so I can stop starving and get on living or dying. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment. Keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve, but your options are few. Without a supply of stabilizer to this body, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward towards the front of the queue. Try to find something to distract yourself with. Look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. Door flame. I can't speak. Should get more alcohol in me. Make me better at reading. That's some good stuff, man. Whew. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. Wait your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting of the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panels gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the flame of a frame. God, what is with me, man? I don't know what it is, but like, among my many speech impediments and things that make it difficult for me to talk, The worst is me pronouncing my R's as L's. Because I certainly do not pronounce my R's well. I have to usually struggle to not pronounce them as a W. Like, I was in speech therapy because I couldn't say my R's correctly, and I never learned a damn thing. I kind of just had to force it eventually, where it's like, you know, I feel like I can say things the right way, but it's very easy if I'm not focusing on it to be like, yeah, I can say things the white way, and like, it's embarrassing. I will say, YouTube comments are pretty interesting, man. What gain is this, bro? I will say that got me pretty good. I clicked on this guy's profile and his description is, I am not a cat, for context. That's so good. Oh man, that's really funny. Anyway. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you're looking at this live stream, a live stream titled Citizen Sleeper and only Citizen Sleeper, maybe that's a hint as to the name of the game, you know? That's something I'll always do when I'm live streaming. I always include the name of the game, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, I didn't really think of a title because it's like, I don't know, I don't know anything about the game, so I feel like I can't come up with a funny title. So ergo, my first live stream, my first time playing the game, I'm gonna be just titling it what it is. So anyway, come, sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please, sit. They gestured to the bed, then turned to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. Tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And Espen ARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up, as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. But it won't come. It has to wait. because I am once again annoyed with live streaming on PlayStation. But yeah, in case you were wondering, I'm getting a repeat of the same 4 fucking boring ass nonsense nothing messages. No offense, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like people who come into like smaller YouTube live streamers, they feel like, oh hey, I can get personable with you, but it's like, no, don't get personable with me. Just say what's on your mind and say what you want to say. Like when somebody hits me with a hello, I fucking hate that shit. Like just say anything. Say something of value. Say something I can actually bounce off of and respond to instead of being like, oh, hello, hi, welcome to the live stream. Because that's boring. Nobody wants to fucking hear that, man. I don't know, maybe some people do. If so, go fucking watch somebody else. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshihiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take up the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source a stabilizer, and maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes, complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Wow, that is fascinating. Okay then. Yeah, Dock C4. Okay. Nothing to do there, apparently. Same here? Yeah, same here. Huh. So, what about here? Got work there. So, let's do work here. Ah, I see. You're going to want to complete back in business before a debt is called in. Okay. So, yeah, what's 3 again? Ah, interesting. Okay, yeah. Do that. Positive outcome. Back in business +2, +15 cryo. Alright. Let's see, what about here? Assist a shipbuilder or haul materials? I'd rather try assisting a shipbuilder. Yep. Just kind of expecting that. That's alright. Huh. What am I supposed to actually wait for? Build a ship mind. You've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ort Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mine core. Drago's pulled you out of the salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. Okay. Survive. Okay. Have I waited? Can be honest, I don't know what I'm missing. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red fleck dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it into plastic trays. A stack of chips rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. I'll watch. Despite the queue, Memphis doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles into the bowl of torn leaves and bright slices before tossing them loosely together. Occasionally, a waiting customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Memphis remains steady in his process. After a while, the queue fades back into the crowd, and Memphis sets down his metal bowl and looks up across the burner to see you watching him. I can feel your eyes burning a hole in my bowl. Free sample? Nod. He gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Memphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Oh, that's curious. Okay. That's gonna take a few cycles. This is also very confusing to control with a controller. It's like the right stick does this, but then you move the left stick and it goes right back to how it is normally. Yeah, why can't I access the later part? Alright, whatever. Cycle me, bro. But yeah, I can't help but feel like this part, like this section, is very, it's very Disco Elysium-esque. Which I like, but I think is also kind of a bad thing. Like, I would not seek to actively compare yourself to Disco Elysium. Like, you can if you want to, but it's like, I wouldn't do it, because it's like, again, Disco Elysium is simple. It's a very simple game. It is quite literally like one of the simplest games I've ever played. But yet it's like that kind of simpleness leads to you, it eases you into the complexity of the game, the narrative, the dialogue, the choices. Like, I don't know, there's a lot to be said and a lot to talk about with Disco Elysium, which I will someday and probably randomly whenever I feel the urge to. But yeah. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmery light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring. Through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There's so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse, but you begin to try. I'll focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads you in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Alright, hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. Tutorial, the cloud. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. By the way, am I cool saying caches, or is it cache? I'm more of a cache guy myself, but I respect you if you're a cache sort of fellow. While there, you can use dice and items to extract systems and extract data, or to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Press triangle to toggle this view on and off. Huh. Oh. Data actions allow you to track data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your die to the one displayed on the right of the action. You have a +1 or 2 modifier in the interface. Skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice on display. Once unlocked, the dice can be extracted. Okay. I can't do that one quite yet. But yeah, if you have one that's either a 1, yeah, there we go. Key node 9426. This node pulses faintly as it mines Cairo at a glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. Bypass. Track data. +1 encrypted key. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Taking a few cycles for that. Let's see. What about the food here? Hmm. Emphasis spice fungus is one of the few things potent enough to stimulate your limited taste sensors. It's incredible stuff. Yeah, we'll go ahead and order fungus. Ah. Plus energy, plus fungus fan, minus 15 gyro. Interesting. Huh. Alright. Well, part of me wants to go to Dragos' yard. Alright, and another part of me needs to go use the restroom. I'm gonna take a piss. Don't tell no one. It's embarrassing. So, anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Heyo, I returned. Sorry I was gone for so long. Uh, yeah, it's interesting. Where it's like, yeah, what does this do? Okay. Yeah, I think I'd rather ought to do that. Neutral outcome. Okay, okay. Now, do this here. And we're back in business, baby. Okay. So there's active scenes. What is the active scene that I'm missing out on? Ah, there we go. Lovely jubbly. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hole Scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge, has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it's lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. Sorry, don't mind me. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Drago's for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think, what became of its crew? What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg. As it reaches the base of the yard, Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hull, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked up inside that container, the wreck of the Essen Arp freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to the Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Drago squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name on the ship emblazoned on its side. Winter Light. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Hey, look at that. Paid off. Clear the debt and return a favor to your first friend on the eye. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on your character. Access your character menu with R1. Alright. Got an upgrade point. Interesting. Yeah, look at that. Endure is no longer -1, I think. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. Ooh. Fang is coming down the corridor towards you, with a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I got you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around, just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a star in the eye. He looks away, down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass together into the main walkway. Haven't. We're all one dysfunctional family. Feng puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with the systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around, and well, I know a little bit. I know a little about you sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around, but this might not be the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare. Then, when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. That's interesting. Ooh, I like him. Alright, so what do we got here now? Dragos' nerve. Dragos seems increasingly nervous about your presence in the yard. You're not sure he's going to hold his nerve much longer. Ooh, okay. Yeah, well, hold on. We're going here, and I'm investigating the Yadigan agent. Oh, it's only a 1? Oh wait, no, it's a 3. Bypass. Track data. Okay, got some Yadigan data. As you drift back from the nose, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. I'll stay still. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identity, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper, S and ARP. Unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, of and not of, attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts its threads, twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you conform your legal right to sentience? I am a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking, back into the station light, shaking with fear. Damn. Alright then. Okay. So, what's here? Ah. The rotunda's passengers are dizzy, but out of intuition or sheer luck, you stumble onto a new location. Interesting. Yeah, I almost kind of want to go to the shipyard now. Hmm. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing materials and asking the nearest yard hand to where to take them. Hmm. Okay, neutral outcome. Yard end minus energy. Alright. Whoa, hey now. Overlook bar. Get a drink, buy rations. Tala keeps some expired Solen rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the ringway seems like a good test. Yeah, let's see if I can drink. Especially before I eat. That'll get me way more drunk. Energy. Overlook regular. -6 cryo. Alright. Let's have some rations too. Plus energy, -10 cryo. Alright. On to slumber. Oof. First thing you see on entry is a glint of Toshiro's implants, like cat's eyes in the dark over the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yatagan. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? It seems to be the case. Fortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. Stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. Stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least, if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They began readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses the syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadagan acquired a case of this stuff. Yadagan or Yadagan? Yadagan. Yodogan? Yadagan. I'm going to say Yadagan from here on out. I don't know. I kind of like Yadagan. I don't know how Yadagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. Wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The cube stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Wow. Oh, okay. If you use the D-pad, it's way easier to navigate. Pay low end toll. After some spacers caused some trouble in the low end, Yadagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. Memphis doesn't really trust people easily, but he notices his regular customers in his own quiet way. Yeah, I'll eat some food. There we go. Full energy now. Oh, now what's this? Scrap freighter. Buy some scrap. Most of what comes in from the starboard belt is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. The freighter crew are eager to get their payload into the ore exchange, and they'll pay a wage to anyone willing to help them. Yeah, do it. Oof. Alright, got a scrap allowance. The big stuff goes to the shipyard, the valuable stuff to the market. So let you buy a few crates, but not much more. I see. Fang. Sleeper. Fang catches your attention as you approach the half-inch building, leaning against the bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans on a server stack and gestures around you. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps the nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove. All dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1. The I-1. The one Solon built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the eye and think they are seeing a constant, a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks, and you follow. We're keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections? You can, can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in heavens, there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dress up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's a solemn cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. Slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Oh. Fang will pay you for any solium data you dredge up from the Eye's old system. What he does with it is anyone's guess. Okay, I don't have any data yet. But yeah, let's see if I can get Dragos to be on my side. Ooh, okay. Ship breaking is tough. It's tougher than slicing up loose salvage, but Dragos is happy to pay you a fixed wage if you're up for it. Eh. Positive outcome. Look at that. So, that all for the day? Seems so. Alright. Keynote. This gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Solheim. Ah. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. Ah. Alright. That's pretty expensive. I don't think I need that yet, so yeah, let's go ahead and get to work. Yeah, look at that. Oh, lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Cycles. Yeah, look at that. The final pieces of the Winter Light sit in neat piles waiting for the collection's shuttle from Havenage. Havenage. That makes more sense. Dragos managed to sell the remaining pieces to the shipyards. In fact, that's hard to forget, as he has been telling you about it for the past 2 cycles. And all that remains is for Havenage to come collect. You look around the yard, transformed when you first arrived. The mostly repaired drones flit back and forth, no longer buzzing unevenly or lost in dark corners. And the scrap section sorted, the system that you and Dragos have put into place over the past cycles paying off. As you look, you notice a glow pale of light from the office by the entrance, that run-down cab of a building which houses all the records and spare equipment. Dragos must be inside, and you get to your feet and walk over to find out when the shipyard collection crew will be here. Sleeper, come in. You swing open the door and walk in. Dragos is sitting at the small metal desk. Shipyards told me they'd be here soon. Then they'll hand over the chits and we're all set. He writes something off with a stylus on the slate and then shuts it off. Of course, we should talk about a bonus. He stands and turns to face you, his face placid. Look, I don't know when the next job is coming, but this should tide you over for now. He opens his hand to reveal a stack of chits. What's going on here? I said it's a bonus. Take it. Dragos presses the chits into your hand. I've done well by you and you've returned the favor. He straightens up and clears his throat. And you realize he's prepared what he's about to say. These shits are for you to take and do what you will with them. They are from me, and they are the last I'm gonna give you. He pauses. There's no more work for a sleeper in this yard. He folds his arms. I'm sorry, but that's it. You stay in the container as long as you need, but the yard is done with you. He turns away towards his terminal. What do you mean? Don't press me, sleeper. This is for your own good. The glassy apertures on Drago's headset betray no emotion. You need to stay away, sleeper. He pauses, considering his words. Trouble is going to follow you here. Trust me. What do you know? Drago kicks at the floor, frustrated with himself. I'll not be saying any more, sleeper. Drago suddenly grabs you by the shoulder and drags you out of the office into the yard. He turns you to face a stack of pieces from the winter light, dissected, cut down, totally unrecognizable as a ship. You came through that, sleeper. That should have been you, chopped and stabbed. His hand trembles on your shoulder. This is what happens here. We cut down broken machines and move them on. Well, I didn't cut you down, but I'm sure as hell moving you on. Moving you on before whoever killed that ship out there comes to kill me. Kill you? Kill both of us. He shakes his head. These ships, they don't get decommissioned. They didn't break down in dry dock. You think they look like that if they did? Someone ended them. That means someone tried to end you, sleeper, and I'm done waiting for them to turn up. We've had our fun, now it's time. He gives you a little shove. Go on. He turns and walks back to the office. That's it, he shouts and goes inside. Silence hangs in the air and you leave with your pockets filled with clinking chits and a strange hollow feeling in your chest. Wow. Damn. Well, end the cycle. Okay, now I'm starving again. Okay, I see how that works now. That makes sense. Alright. Yeah, well, let's buy some stabilizer. Sabine is selling you off the case of stabilizer vial by vial. You haven't been able to talk with them since your last visit. Alright. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Tashira's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand and a thin film marked with holes and sigils and rolls around the vial. At one end is a hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the film. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It's perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You make out a word among the markings. Passkey. Is this an entry for? Is this an entry key for somewhere? The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted into it. 207F, and then crudely scratched into the handle at some later date, low end. For a moment you consider going back to the surgery to return the key. and then quickly think better of it. Does Sabine want you to have this, or is Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to the low end and find out. Oh. It's got a trophy too. Buy yourself some extra time. One vial at a time. Ooh, that is interesting. But here, before I do that, spend some credits ordering fungus. Alright. I'm a real fungus fan now. Sleeper! Emphas calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you. Cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something out from a plastic bottle into the wok. But what of yours? He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spices rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you like to tell Emphas. You look at Emphas, the listener, and imagine he has heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story, something with spice. Ooh. Yeah, I'm thinking dreams. Tell him about your dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphas, had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorm scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray skeletal afterimages of system and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That was until now, until you arrived at this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink, and now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through the air. You tell him that you do not know if there is a reason for your dreams. Perhaps your reason is just some side effect or particular quality of this frame you inhabit. But whatever it is a gift, and you hope to make use of it. Emphas finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You're quite the storyteller. He eyes you, and you realize that he's trying to gauge how honest you have been in your story. Emphas passes you the meal he has cooked, and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the empty market. But my time is done for today, and I do not want to keep you longer, so I will make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple of cycles ago. They said that across the gap in the greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Emphas begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap, and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I am sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I will prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphas. And I will wait for you to bring them. Emphas slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Memphis's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think, a trade that seems more than fair. Look at that, full energy now. Alright, so I have to... Oh, I have an upgrade available. Okay. What to upgrade? Okay, can't do that one, so. Nope. Hold on, relax. Part of me kind of wants to go efficient attractor, but photosynthetic skin seems kind of nice. Yeah, why not? Okay. I can barely afford it, but I can get in there, so let's go. Find the entrance to the apartment. Its passkey symbol obscured beneath layers of graffiti. Who lives here? The lock clunks open, the metal door swinging inward into the dark. As you push the door open, the automatic lights flicker on inside the apartment. They reveal yellowing plastic panels, the curved shape of the wall-mounted utility units, the detritus of a routine life arranged on every surface. You step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber lights of the aging fixtures glaze everything with pale orange. The work surfaces hold a variety of objects, indistinct in the dull lighting. A pale blue light drifts from a doorway at the end of the room. Inspect the surfaces. Smudges through the thin layer of dust suggest a recent, rare, and hurried visit. They trace a path to the water dispenser, the auto wash, then to a cabinet still half open. On the shelf sits an empty pill case. To the doorway. You cross the cramped utility room with its auto wash, dispensers, water closet, towards the doorway. Through the doorway is a dark, warm room, lit only by the faint glow of the terminal screen. A bunk is tucked into the wall, the blankets ruffled, a wall desk glitters with rows of vials and containers, a briefcase lab sits open, loaded with rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, controlled. As you approach the terminal, there's a crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper. Sabine's voice sacredly echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. I'm sorry I can't be there. I have had to make alternate arrangements. You hear rattling noises, static. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare show my face. Something is happening within Yatagan. I no longer trust them. Their voice becomes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatagan were supposed to hide me, to protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate. And then after that, I was too tired to care. A noise, like waves, passes over the recording. But I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw the debt. But I need insurance, something I can hold against them. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information. And as you know, you need me. A pause. Something clicking in the dark. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. Another pause. I know sleepers. I've been here before. I can help you, but not with Yatagan's noose around my neck. Get me data. Get me information. Get me something that I can use against Yatagan. Then I can get out, and you can get what you need. Please. Waves of static cut into Sabine's voice. Bring it here to my terminal. I'll get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Sabine living here, working at the desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its white hiss, then silence. You sit in front of the humming terminal and hit a few keys. Sabine has left an access point open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. Seems Sabine might not trust you as much as they want you to think. Who does Sabine need to hide from? What debt do they owe to Yatagan? You try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that without stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lab on the desk, its glassware glinting in the dark. You turn away and leave, the door clunking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice scrawled graffiti of a blade on the opposite wall. Yatagan. You feel yourself being drawn into something you don't quite understand. Oh, that's really interesting. Let's see here. So I can block maintenance. Maintained by the residents, the ramshackle blocks are always in need of repairs. Helping out is a good way to make friends. And the clack of filter caps can be heard in every concourse in the low end, as the residents play rotating rounds of this game for cryo. Alright. I'm thinking you can 5 me on this. Neutral outcome. More of a low ender. Now let's go gambling. Low ender +2, +3 cryo. No one knows you here. You'll need to change that. You want to access low end's residents and faculties. Min G. Min Guy? Min G, I think. Founder's Gap. Ooh, pretty pricey. A tangled network of service passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the smoke as if it were a hive. There are no maps here. Blistered with precarious elevators and stairways, the smoke can be navigated from the outside, but the climb requires bravery. Let's see what's here. Minji has a kelp stack in the basement, and he makes noodles from the seaweed. He doesn't pay much, but will feed anyone who does a shift. Delivering noodles to the nameless units of the low end takes guts and a certain fearlessness when it comes to asking for tips. Alright, I'll do that. Express delivery. +13 cryo. A short cross across the bridge means 3 happy customers and 3 big tips. You start to understand the makeshift unit markings. Alright. So yeah, I'm kind of running out of time here. I gotta make good on low end. Without regular doses of stabilizers, sleeper bodies actively decay. A corporate insurance policy to disincentivize escapees like you. Sunbathe, endure. Okay. I'll end cycle for now. Feel like I don't need a stabilizer quite just yet. Alright. Merchant freighter. Ah. You and the merchants know these fragments are overpriced, but are they willing to admit it? You'll get one chance to see. Yeah, no, I'm not paying for that. Yatagon agent. A glimmer in the dark catches your eyes. The orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. Hide. slip down the ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now, that roving orb wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you, in that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating cage. Struggle. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You're caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing. Comes a scream from beyond, but you are already gliding away back to your anchor, your body. You awake, dizzy, disoriented, distorted, but safe. Alright. Yeah, let's go ahead and put some Yatagon data in there. Okay. Let's input a stabilizer. I want to see what it does exactly. Okay. Track in Haven Age. Tableau room in the Tambor houses some of the best players in the low end. This is serious, high stakes only play. You've heard that Yatagon Enforcer based here has been paying low end residents for information on Haven Age movements. Alright. Okay. As he enters the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark and staccato rhythms, unseen eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Fang's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. These snaky shitheads! Who's snaky? Sleeper! Fang's smiling head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I've been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks. Thrumming? Trying not to tip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is set in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean closer, looking for the links in the data. This table seems to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, and the markers of institutional records. People? People, yes, but whom? People, yes, but whose people? Solheim? Bingo. He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Fang, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Haven Age. He waits for your reaction. In Haven Age? That's it. He's right there on the station now. Fang leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on the station as Fang leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fang raises his eyebrows at you. Hardin was keeping the money coming in from Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium rush workers into an infrastructure. Palladium rush workers into an infrastructure, which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. Ooh, how do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I am a child of the collapse. I'm a child of the collapse. Fang turns back to the screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Fang's voice rises as he speaks, his fists on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for the ad existence, the cycles of hard extraction out in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak. My parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot of money you can get if you're a company man. Fang relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So, we are going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Fang brings up a map of the lower eye. Haven Age might be born out of Erland's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Fang zooms in on the far yards. Fang grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Fang holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Feng puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Feng grins. If you can't extract yourself a Haven-Age cipher from a Haven-Age agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So, what do you say? You up for it? Yes. I knew it. I knew you'd be happy to catch this snake, and don't worry, once we nail this guy, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. I haven't forgotten. Feng scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send back to here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Feng, digging through data. Among the wires and machines at the old station, as you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you are intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin, still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Ooh. Very interesting, man. Yeah, I feel like working in the basement here is pretty good. Because you do get free food out of it, man. Alright. I say we go ahead and try to get good in the shipyard. See, how much is 4? Okay. I'd rather go for the other option here with the 4. Hey, look at that. Yard AM +2 and 5 cryo. It's something, man. It's something. Now, yeah, I am kind of nervous to just go to sleep now. Alright. Yeah, I want to try this at least once. Okay. Ooh, Ethan. Hold it there, sleeper, comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. Good, good. A hand pats your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he has terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put. He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off of it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pulled most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrists. Go easy. I'm gonna make a break for it. Fuck you, man. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the walls beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. It's a very boring routine, trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. We can work this out. Can we? I don't see how much in the way of assets. I I don't see much in the way of assets in your possession. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to S and ARP right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you put up a little more of a chase, you know? Running battle through the bright market maybe, or hold down the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of any way to escape. That SNR tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea, Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I'm gonna stay silent. Although, muses Ethan, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're heading up for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run, or leave, or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles, you come meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles, and you pay my tab. I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab. He rattles his handgun. You get the idea. I get it. Okay then. That sounds to me like a deal. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks, something at his belt, and the rings release from your wrists. I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at the compressor club. Come see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Oh man, that's really interesting. Alright. Well, you mind if I quit to the main menu? Going for 2 hours. 2.5 hours, really. I'm thinking for me, it's a pretty good time for a break, man. It's pretty fun and all, but I want to take a break, have a bite to eat, brush my teeth, and go to sleep. It is almost 4:20 after all. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits. But hey, thanks for watching and listening to me terribly read out all this pretty amazing dialogue. Honestly, I'm really liking this game a lot. I wonder how long it's gonna be, but yeah, I find it really interesting. Like, I think the tutorials are a little overwhelming, but like once you get into the groove of the game, it's really a lot of fun. Well, anyway, peace out, and Disco Elysium, and Citizen Sleeper. Citizen Sleeper, Disco Elysium.